Cape Town, March 2018. Third test, Australia versus South Africa. A television camera, one moment, catches something it was never supposed to catch. A yellow piece of sandpaper in the pocket of a 28-year-old cricketer, being pressed against a cricket ball. Within 72 hours, 3 of Australia's most celebrated cricketers are sent home in disgrace. The captain is crying at a press conference. An entire nation is in shock. The Prime Minister of Australia makes a statement. Over a ball. This is the story of how something that fits in the palm of your hand brought down the most powerful cricket team on earth, and why the physics of that ball made cheating irresistible in the first place. To understand why a tiny piece of sandpaper could destroy careers, you first need to understand the cricket ball. A cricket ball is not just a ball. It is a precision instrument. At its core, a small cork sphere, tightly wound with layers of string. Around that, a hand-stitched leather shell, split into 2 hemispheres, joined by a raised seam of 6 rows of stitching. That seam is everything. When a fast bowler hurls this ball at 145 km per hour, the seam interacts with the air in ways that can make the ball curve, dip, and dart. Late. Too late for a batsman to react. These movements have names. Conventional swing. Reverse swing. The ball can be weaponized. But here's the thing that makes cricket unique among all ball sports. The condition of the ball changes during the game, and the rules say the fielding team is allowed, encouraged, to manage that condition. They can shine one side. They can let the other side deteriorate naturally. That asymmetry is the weapon. And for 150 years, the line between managing the ball and cheating has been the most contested boundary in all of sport. Here is the physics, and it is beautiful. Imagine you are holding that cricket ball and you throw it through the air at high speed. Air flows over both sides of the ball. On the smooth, shiny side, air flows cleanly, what physicists call laminar flow. It sticks to the surface longer before peeling away. On the rough, scuff side, air tumbles and breaks apart, turbulent flow. It separates from the surface earlier. Those 2 different separation points create a pressure difference between the 2 sides of the ball. And pressure difference means force. The ball gets pushed sideways. In cricket, this is called swing. Think of it like this. You know how a spinning top wobbles? The ball doesn't spin, but the air around it behaves differently on each side, and that imbalance bends its flight path by half a meter or more. Half a meter, at 140 km per hour, in the last few feet before it reaches the batsman. That is the difference between a perfectly playable delivery and an unplayable one. The faster and smoother one side is, and the rougher the other, the more swing you get. Now here is where it gets strange. After about 40 overs, roughly 2.5 hours of play, something unusual happens to the physics. The ball has aged. One side is now very rough. The other side, polished constantly by the fielding team, is still relatively smooth. At this point, a new phenomenon kicks in. Reverse swing. The ball now swings in the opposite direction to what the batsman expects. Why? Because at higher roughness levels, the turbulent boundary layer on the rough side actually stays attached to the ball longer than the smooth side. The physics flips. A batsman who has watched a ball swing one way for 40 overs suddenly faces a ball swinging the other way, and his brain is hardwired for the wrong direction. His feet move wrong. His bat angle is wrong. In the 1990s, Pakistani fast bowlers mastered this art. The cricketing world called it witchcraft. It wasn't. It was physics, and it was completely legal. But the temptation that reverse swing created, the desire to get there faster, to cheat the natural aging process, planted a seed in the game that would never go away. Because if you could manufacture the rough surface, artificially accelerate the aging, you could have reverse swing on demand. In the first hour, before the batsman even settled. And that is exactly what teams started doing. Bottle caps, fingernails, zinc cream mixed with dirt, sunscreen deliberately worked into the leather, seam lifting with thumbnails. Over the decades, every trick was tried. Cricket's authorities knew it was happening. The television cameras occasionally caught it. There were warnings. There were fines. There were whispers. But nothing prepared the sport for Cape Town in 2018. Australia were playing South Africa in a ferocious series. The plan was hatched in the lunch break of the third test. Bancroft, the most junior of the three, was sent out with a piece of sandpaper hidden in his pocket. The job? Rough up one side of the ball, manufacture the weapon. One camera operator in the stands noticed something odd about how Bancroft was handling the ball. Zoomed in, saw the sandpaper. Within minutes, it was on television screens across the world. Within hours, it was on the front page of every newspaper in Australia. Within 24 hours, Cricket Australia had launched an investigation. Bancroft tried to claim it was sticky tape. The cameras had already shown it was sandpaper. The cover-up made everything worse. The fallout was unlike anything cricket had ever seen. Steve Smith, the best batsman in the world, an Australian icon, was banned from international cricket for 12 months. Stripped of the captaincy, stripped of his IPL contract, hundreds of millions of dollars gone overnight. David Warner received the same ban, and a lifetime ban from ever holding a leadership position in Australian cricket. A punishment so severe it had never been handed out before. Cameron Bancroft received 9 months. When Smith flew back to Sydney, thousands of fans were waiting at the airport, not to welcome him, to film his shame. The footage of him weeping at the press conference, a 28-year-old man genuinely broken, was watched by millions. The Prime Minister of Australia called it a shocking disappointment. The Prime Minister of a nation. But the legacy of Sandpapergate went deeper than the bans. It forced cricket boards worldwide to install ball monitoring technology, more cameras, independent ball condition inspectors at every match. It forced a conversation about what cricket's culture had become, a win-at-any-cost mentality so embedded that intelligent men thought sandpaper was a reasonable risk to take. And it reminded the world of something important. The physics of a cricket ball, the swing, the asymmetry, the dark art of reverse, is so powerful, so decisive, that humans have been willing to sacrifice everything to control it. A bottle cap, a thumbnail, a piece of sandpaper. These weren't the weapons of cheats who didn't understand the game. They were the weapons of people who understood the physics so well, who respected the power of swing so deeply, that they were willing to burn everything to have it. That is the dark paradox at the heart of cricket's biggest scandal. Most people watched Sandpapergate and saw a scandal. You just watched it and understood the physics. That is the difference between being a fan and actually knowing the game. If you want to keep knowing, you know what to do. Every week we cut open a different sport and show you what is really happening beneath the surface. Like, share and subscribe to SportsAutopsy if you want to be in the room when we do it. The next one might just change everything you think you know.